So, turns out Black Ops 6 will be an even bigger game changer for things like Warzone than we previously thought. New leaks reveal what some new features and returning features look like coming with the integration later this year. So as we go along, drop your thoughts down below on what you think of these changes coming to Warzone with Black Ops 6's integration. And if you enjoy the video, do me a favor, drop a like on the video and make sure to subscribe for more Black Ops 6, Warzone, X-Defiant, and more FPS content. I'd love to have the community, especially for part of that 75% of viewers not subscribed. But for now, let's take a look at these new leaks and details for Black Ops 6's coming changes for Warzone in this post-launch year of support. So first and foremost, the leaks today are sourced from Bob Network UK, a prominent leaker in the space who's accurately detailed future changes and content for a good while now. So while things are always subject to change, we're still 4-ish months away from the integration happening, it's at least worth hearing out given how much has come to pass of Bob's prior leaks. So to start, the first thing that Bob put out was exclusive. Wildcards will feature in Warzone when Black Ops 6 integrates. 8 attachments on a weapon is one of the many wildcards that will be available. So this is pretty big if true, with many implications to go along with that. Now, we've seen higher than 5 attachments before with Vanguard. We saw some redacted weapons in Warzone 1 as limited time items as well. So even what we have right now, it's not a first that was introduced in Season 4 Reloaded, but I kind of figured with Season 4 Reloaded when it was announced pre-Season 4 that this was kind of setting the stage for what's to come. But it's interesting because it says that wildcards will be featured in the Creative class for Warzone. So that means that you can end up in theory applying this to any part of your loadout, not just Black Ops 6 weapons in Warzone, akin to how Vanguard weapons were the only ones you could have 10 attachments on. You could naturally add more than 5 attachments. So that's something that, in theory, your Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 weapons would also be able to support upwards of 8 attachments in that case. So while I'm 100% on board for a seamless transition from one current game of the year to Warzone, so you don't have any sort of jarring experience going back and forth from Warzone to the current mainline title, I'm curious to see how this transfers in practical use. Plus, what also could be included in some of those other wildcards that we see. Right now, there is no list of wildcards actually available for Black Ops 6 other than some leaked ones, but when you look at just most recently the Black Ops Cold War wildcards, there are things like Perk Greed. Could you take 3 additional perks within Warzone as opposed to something else? So I'm curious to see how this will all shape the sort of creative class system going forward in Warzone, not necessarily just multiplayer. It seems like there could be a lot more implications than just simply adding a couple of attachments to a certain number of weapons. The next thing that was reported was that the backpack that we have had since Warzone 2's inception will finally disappear when Black Ops 6 integrates with Warzone. We'll be returning to the system last seen in OG Warzone. And this one, it's an interesting one because I'm also indifferent on this one basically altogether. I won't lie, since they mitigated things with Modern Warfare 3 and a bit into Modern Warfare 2's life cycle, removing the types of bags like small, medium, and large so that it differentiated depending on just simple RNG, I actually didn't mind it so much. Personally, I did enjoy the ability to take a second stack of AR ammo in a number of different scenarios. Sometimes when I was playing ranked and just shooting at everything for assist SR, sometimes I'm just frying for a lot of kills, but they're coming at a distance, so I can't quite make it over to the dead bodies to replenish. Stuff like that, I use a lot for that to be able to carry extra stuff in my air quote backpack. But with smoke, stun, self-revives, or flare pistols, the hoarding that can sometimes happen with that, I get where it has its own downsides. So again, impartial on my end, but curious that it seems like they're finally getting the backpacks in a decent state only to just remove it in that sense. So that, I'd be curious to see your take on it, what you like or dislike about that. And finally, the last thing that was reported here out of this is that Unlimited Tac Sprint is to become a perk when Black Ops 6 integrates with Warzone in Season 1. I know not everyone will like it, but I love this idea. Tac Sprint boots are so fun, I think, in Urzikstan right now coming out of the bunkers, but again, they're only available in those bunkers, so there's kind of a little, I don't want to say side quest to get them, but you have to go out of your way to end up equipping that. I'm more so curious, though, what this means for the base default movement, because while it's cool that we'll have a perk allowing us to do this kind of stuff, that's your conscious choice of the game. However, we saw a few perks made default with Warzone, let's say 3 here, with Modern Warfare 3 and Urzikstan, but if you add an unlimited Tac Sprint as a perk, will we then see the effects of double time become the basis for the default movements? Because otherwise you kind of have 2 optional effects that adjust your movement speeds and regen, but one is far superior than the other one. Almost makes it a choice that one just wouldn't get used, at least in my opinion, because if you have the ability to have unlimited Tac Sprint, why would you take double time? So I do wonder if that will be something that we see double time applied as that base default, and then you can go a step further and equip a perk to end up getting that unlimited tack sprint. I think that'd be a cool way to go about it. But anyways, all of this on top of the information we've already heard about the integration, firstly happening with Urzikstan, but then Verdansk coming back at some point during the year of 2025 of support for Black Ops 6. If I'm guessing right now, it would make a ton of sense to release that around March 10th, that 5-year anniversary mark of Warzone, which would be like Season 2 Reloaded, I think it is around that point. But wow, saying that, good God, it feels like time has just flown by. Like, it doesn't feel right to say 5 years upcoming for Warzone, right? But anyways, that, of course, there's a lot we've heard about this, but how much will come true in time, that's only something that we have to wait and see. Now, here's the thing. With all of this talking about getting back to some like faster movement, some stuff that brings back Verdansk and all that kind of stuff, sure, you could call it chasing the nostalgia, chasing the high player counts that we had during COVID and the year of Black Ops, Cold War's year of support. But honestly, I kind of call it comedy, because genuinely, when you look at the last year and a half, that turning point around Season 2 of Modern Warfare 2, when it was reported that Infinity Ward was no longer working day-to-day on Warzone 2, from that day on, just about every single change to Warzone has been made to undo something that Infinity Ward or Warzone 2.0 created, and changed just for the sake of saying they changed something. Like, I would love to be able to see like into a multiverse and see where the game could be right now if we didn't take a whole year and a half to revert every single change made. Like, imagine a year and a half of good quality of life changes and features instead from where we were at the end of Warzone 1. Like, that would be an entirely game-changing experience. So yes, while on one hand, it makes absolute sense from a business perspective. You want to get those high player numbers back, but it's crazy to me that we're getting back to this point where it like feels right and feels like Warzone, but it's like being marketed as a way to amp people up for something we've already kind of been back to. Like, it feels weird, and it feels like we've just been running in place the last year. So I am excited to see what the future holds, but like, it's a bummer we didn't get this kind of stuff earlier on. But anyways, that is the newly reported leaks for Black Ops 6 and the Warzone experience post-integration here come, that's probably going to be around late November, early December, depending on the time frame for when the sort of preseason and how long that lasts. But just wanted to fill you guys in on the newer information here so that you're in the loop with everything. But that is where we're going to wrap it up. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of this? Like it, dislike it, whatever the case, drop your thoughts. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it out all insightful, do me a favor, drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to notice a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 6, Warzone, X-Defiant, and even more FPS coverage. I'd love to have in the community. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.